checking Manchester City's form away from home, they lost to Wolves 2-1. And
they
then
lost to Arsenal.
They lost to Arsenal 1-0. And then in the cup as well, they lost to Newcastle. So it shows you like how far they are as a team without KDB.
And it shows how United fans are giving themselves a hope. We had another interesting week in the English Premier League, with some playing good football while others were boring football. I wouldn't mention them right now. But early kickoff, we saw Liverpool beating Everton 2-0 in the Merseyside derby, courtesy of Mo Salah's 2 goals, a penalty and another goal towards the stoppage time. Ashley Young was sent off for Everton after picking 2
second yellow card.
Yes.
On a foul on Diaz.
Yes. Yeah. We saw Manchester City getting back to winning ways with a 2-1 victory over Brighton. It was a tight contest. And also Arsenal dropping points against Chelsea, or it's Chelsea dropping points. It was a 2-0 lead for Chelsea, but in the final 15 minutes, we saw the Gunners claim a point away from home, which isn't bad. Manchester United also got back to winning ways, beating the real United, Sheffield, 2-1. 2-1 goals and of course 3 points, very huge points for Man United. They really needed the win. On Monday, on Monday we saw Tottenham Hotspurs beating Fulham 2-0 in the London derby.
A game which you predicted
2-0. I gave a correct score of 2-0. I also gave United the correct score of 3-1. But Garnacho couldn't score to make it 3-1 in the stoppage time. Which match do you pick for the weekend?
Well, all round up, it was a great weekend, especially for the Manchester United, or for Manchester teams, I mean, and Manchester United at large, because second win in a row, huge for them. Although
doesn't happen
frequently this season. I would say for them, they're still struggling. So I'll not talk much about them because it was a much needed win, especially against Sheffield United, which is not a team which you can say that you will drop points. Manchester City as well against Brighton is a huge win, especially they had dropped points in the previous
matches in no competition.
And
so, 2 in the Premier League.
Yeah, but it's a game that I expected more goals than 2, of course, but it is what it is. Game ended 2-1. And then Spurs remained hot, winning 2-0, and keeping a clean sheet against Fulham is a good thing to go by. So credits to them, and credits to Ange. The work he's doing at Tottenham is tremendous. They actually look like now...
I think it has never happened to the Premier League coach to get such winnings.
Yes, those points.
At this stage.
At this stage.
Yes.
Yeah. That's true. And then... But yeah, we had the biggest game of the weekend, of course.
London Derby.
London Derby, Chelsea playing Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. Game which ended 2-2. A game which you would have thought as a neutral that Chelsea would have won. But yet again...
Not even as neutral. Also as Arsenal fan, I feel they lost that match. That draw to Chelsea feels like... I lost to them. Yeah, they actually did very well. It shows how much Pochettino is putting in work as a coach to try and make things right. Palmer scoring the first goal, and then all of a sudden Mudryk as well scored, and then from the team crumbled down. Then that's what I said about mentality in the beginning, because Chelsea should have won this match easily, because they had like 2 more chances, clear-cut chances, one given to them by Raya. They failed to convert, and once Arsenal sniffed that this team is now collapsing or towards the end, Declan Rice with a fantastic goal to cut the lead to half, and then all of a sudden Saka, who was like nowhere to be seen in the match, comes up with individual brilliance with that fantastic cross, and the serial killer, Trossard himself,
finishing it up. I mean,
just now to cut you short, when you mentioned about Trossard, I know you love Trossard. I don't know why. But if I take you back when Arsenal were playing Manchester City in the Community Shield, it was Cole Palmer scoring the opening goal while Trossard equalized. We had a repeat at Stamford.
At Stamford Bridge. Yeah, that's football.
Those scripts, sometimes football is scripted. I feel it is.
Football is just...
the way it appears, you might say it's
football
scripted.
is magical. Yeah. Football is magical.
It's magical.
Yeah, it's magical. Because things that happen, sometimes you will wonder, and it just shows you how much we look forward to these events and so and so. So I was saying to Chelsea, it felt like a loss. To Arsenal, most of them, they know they didn't have a good performance, but they, again, went away with 1 point, still unbeaten. I would take that if I were an Arsenal fan. But I'm going to say Chelsea are finding their feet, and it could... be of a difference when we see this weekend. I think they're playing Brentford, so we'll talk much more about Chelsea when we get to Brentford. But for now, I think they are on the right track.
I'll still pick a Chelsea match against Arsenal. A match I feel, as much as people are praising, heaping praise on Chelsea performance, they played well. But how was Arsenal's performance? Every player was below par, apart from, let's say, Declan Rice. And also Ben White, they played really well. And Trossard probably coming from the bench. Or other players from Saka, that's not the Saka, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Odegaard ghosting once again. And like everything was a mess. You need, I don't know your take on this, but I feel it's high time Arteta should try now and bench Raya once again, because we've had like, he has had like nervous start. In the last 3 matches. Against Man City it happened, against Chelsea it happened, in the Champions League it happened. Also the 4th match it happened as Arsenal secured a 2-1 victory over Sevilla in the Champions League, I mean. So I think it's high time. It's either he gets benched. When with goalkeepers, when you bench a goalkeeper, you make him play better and like a player, a normal on-field player. So I think that's it. So for Chelsea, you said they're improving, yes, but it's a slight improvement because, like you mentioned, in terms of mentality, they don't have the right mentality. If United had beaten Arsenal 2-0, could be game over. The same, Tottenham, though those are derbies, Tottenham, Manchester City, Liverpool, if they lead, you are not supposed to give away that 2-0. So I think it was, I was talking to a Chelsea fan called Benson, he's a Nigerian, he told me, he could feel after scoring the first goal, there was panic, the panic mode kicked in, and after the second goal, there were more like tension. I don't know whether you've watched some matches, when your team is playing, you are calm, but once you score first goal, there is a tension which comes with that goal, unlike when it was 0-0. I don't know why it happens.
It's football. It happens because in that game, if you were going into it as a Chelsea fan before the game, you wouldn't expect Chelsea maybe to score fast. Because you already know the performance of your team and you know the team you're going to play against. But now, all of a sudden, that's the goal. And now you know, as a fan of a team who's not with the team which is not doing better, you will feel like, okay, we now have to maintain this lead to the end, and that's where the tension kicks in. Yeah,
because before now you start the review, I just need to correct Chelsea fans. Listen, Mudryk didn't mean to score. When you look at his eyes, when he was
crossing the ball, or when he was striking the ball. Let's use the word striking.
Yes, when he was striking the ball, he looked from the cross and just took the shot, like the cross immediately, and he saw, oh, Raya. Oh my goodness, I've scored a beautiful goal. But anyway, it's a good goal. Former Arsenal player Mudryk scoring against his former club. And
when did Mudryk join Arsenal?
Everything was a done deal from Fabrizio Romano. Anyway, it is what it is.
We're not gonna take that goal away from him.
It's a good goal.
Whether he meant it or not, it's a fantastic one. Raya's error, of course, because he was
and also
line.
Declan Rice,
and then
the beauty from outside the box. I think around 36 yards. I think it is the first goal scored by Arsenal fan. Arsenal player since 2003. 3.
You
or
said
6.
you said fun, and
Yes.
I almost wondered, are you the one who's...
No, Declan Rice is a fan.
Or are you talking about...
Henry was a player and a fan. That's what I meant.
Or are you talking about the goals you scored...
during my times, bro. And
anyway, let's not lose track. Let's go directly to our preview and see what we have.
Friday, we'll have Tottenham away to Crystal Palace. One interesting and huge match, truth be told. I want to hear your view on this.
Friday comes with surprises. And I think this is where the day, it's the Black Friday for Tottenham. Well, I usually don't have a problem with Tottenham winning because they are a team that I have been following for some time. Although this season, I haven't just been seeing it until maybe now, where I'm seeing that they have a run.
You didn't see them play against Manchester? Okay.
But the run, I still think will end, and it could be this time.
On Friday.
Yeah, Crystal Palace are a good side as well, although in the last match, they have been below average. So I think I'm predicting a 1-1 draw in this game again. How about you?
Wow, when you predict 1-1 draw, that's where I come in. Away to Palace is not easy match, but there is something in football which is very strange and interesting. When you are high, you are high. That's the thing. Tottenham are on a good run, and trust me, many teams are afraid of meeting them.
Yep.
There is that fear. This team has been doing well. But then again, mentality. Do they have that mentality of, when you're winning, we need to keep doing better, or we need to avoid losing?
Yep.
That's what could mess them. But I have a feeling Tottenham will win this match with another clean sheet.
Again.
Another clean sheet for Tottenham loading. I'll give Tottenham 2-0 victory.
2-0 victory
against
again.
Crystal Palace. Yes.
Wow, that's huge. We'll see.
Then on Saturday, we'll have early kickoff. Ogopa early kickoff. Chelsea are up against Brentford. And I think whoever was setting those fixtures for Chelsea
hasn't been fair to them.
From Arsenal to Brentford, I think they meet Tottenham, they meet Man United, they meet Chelsea, Man City.
Yeah,
maybe Liverpool.
It's a tough ride down the road for them.
I think they are content now with the 1 point they took from us. And what's your take on this match?
I think I said they're starting to pick up.
Yeah.
They're finding their feet. Their form is seen now. They have drawn 2 of the last. They've won 2.
Yeah.
They've drawn 1. And it's not just easy matches. Against Fulham, against Arsenal,
Those are
1 point. Those are great points to take home. So for this game, I think, again, as we've said, it will go down to the manager himself. If he's going to start the team that played against Arsenal, if this team is going to play the way they played against Arsenal, that's an easy win for Chelsea. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I guess Brentford will score 1 and then the game will end 2-1. How about you?
Interesting match. I think I'm seeing Chelsea getting another draw, or they could lose this match. I'll go for a 2-2 draw for Chelsea. Yes, Brentford, or a win for Brentford, a 2-1 win. So I'll give those 2 predictions: a 2-2 draw
or a 2-1
or a
win
2-1
for
win.
Brentford.
For
Interesting.
Brentford.
Why would you say so?
I think Chelsea, it's a team which hasn't picked up all over the field, and those matches they've played, beating Burnley and once again drawing against Arsenal, a team which was really low. They still will have a long way to go. It's not like fully fit, and I feel Pochettino needs to give that team strong mentality, and winning mentality, a team without fear. So if they can do away with fear, then Chelsea can win this match.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and then once again, later on, we'll see Arsenal taking on Sheffield United. Another bad fixture, because how do you give Sheffield?
Man United
then
Arsenal. I think for Sheffield...
And they played, I think, Man City.
They played against Man City. So I think it's going to be a tough match for Sheffield. I pity for them. They haven't been so good ever since they came up in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And these are the games where Arsenal like feasting on them.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to say that as a Man United fan, because I feel Arsenal at Emirates, they show great football. They show the mentality. The fans are behind the team. They're believing. So I'm not going to go much into this because we already know who's the underdog. And Arsenal will win this game with at least 4 goals. So I'm going for 4-1 win for Arsenal.
I'm not predicting that much because you picked what I had in my mind. Yes. This is now the time, though Arsenal played in the midweek Champions League, but that I don't see it affecting them that much because we have a number of players who didn't play. Kai Havertz starting from the bench, and also Smith Rowe didn't play, and Ngeti also started from the bench, so they have squad to rotate. Martinelli starting ahead of Trossard coming in the second half and stuff. So I'm seeing 4 goals.
Again,
4 goals.
Like me.
But I'll say a clean sheet for Raya. So,
4-0.
I'll give it a 4-0 victory.
Yeah. Before we go on, maybe with this, because you mentioned something in the preview about Raya and Ramsdale.
Yeah.
And it's something that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
You said you feel like Raya is making mistakes right now.
Yeah.
He's been nervy in the last 2 games, which is very right. And I think this is a war or a problem Arteta has brought to himself, because there's no way you're bringing in a goalkeeper on loan from a certain team with an option to buy, and then all of a sudden you drop a keeper who has been keeping you on form or who has been playing regularly very well last season, all the games, and then you just drop him like that. I mean, these are the problems that he's brought himself, because Raya has that fear right now that I have to do better to show them that I am better than Ramsdale. Yeah. And then he ends up making those mistakes. So I think it's a problem Arteta has brought to himself, and he should find a way to bring Ramsdale back to the starting 11. But you know what? Arteta is very hard-headed, and he will keep with his decision. But I think it's going to affect Arsenal big time, because these are 2 great goalkeepers, yes, but one is now trying to prove a point in which will bring problems like he did against us, Chelsea.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I totally agree with you. When we look at Raya's performance in the last 4 matches, or since he performed the 2 clean sheets he kept, and of course, yeah, we saw him playing on Tuesday in the Champions League. Still, he is not a player. The biggest mistake Arteta made is this: you bench a player who helped you return to Champions League, and also who almost won you the league. Then you bring a player on loan and you bench him. It's devastating. But when you look at their performance, we all know there is a certain style of play. Let me pick Onana, let me pick Ederson and Alisson. So those 3 goalkeepers are the type of goalkeepers they look for a longer pass. Same Raya is doing. Why is Onana doing better at United? Amid those silly mistakes he has made recently, but once he settles down, you will see who is Onana.
He's a great pass of the ball.
Yes. So that's how he plays. But when you look at Raya, he's the same type of a player. Long balls. But now, Arteta has a philosophy, which
play
tells
from
you
the back.
Play from the back. Building that. Passing. You sub a player who is good at playing at the back. The reasons why Peter Cech left and banned Leno, because they couldn't play from the back. Now, why are you bringing a player who cannot play from the back?
So if it were you, what would you do? Like now, at this point?
I know, like I mentioned, for goalkeepers, when you bench a goalkeeper, you give him a chance to prove himself, compared to players from the field. So if I were Mikel Arteta in a small match, and it's not a big match over the weekend, I'll ensure Ramsdale is back on. Yes, and yes, we try. Actually, you should have tried that in the Champions League. You play Ramsdale in the Champions League, you rest Raya, or vice versa.
Actually, that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, maybe for our people back at home, they can let us know. Do you think, especially Arsenal fans, do you think Ramsdale or Raya deserves to start the game against Brentford? Big question for you. Next match.
Now, the next match which we have Liverpool playing on Sunday. And the question is, will they be lost in the forests?
Wow, another big question to answer, but I think they can't. They are at Anfield, so it makes it easy for them. Their form at Anfield is tremendous. I'm not going to talk a lot more about this game as well, because we have our feature game coming, and I think Liverpool will have it easy on this one, and they should win this game 3-1. How about you?
I also feel Liverpool now are there. They're playing well, good football, and results are following them. And I'm predicting another clean sheet for Alisson. I'm going for a 2-0 victory for Liverpool. Mo Salah with a goal.
Well,
yes, in our future match, we'll see Manchester clubs
clashing
against each other. It's an interesting match to watch. But this time round, they are meeting on one of the toughest stadiums, where you don't pick points easily. Even Manchester United cannot pick those points at Old Trafford. So yeah, City are away to Old Trafford. Where's the lie?
Well, keep on.
Trafford is the toughest stadium to pick 3 points. Even the owners, Man United, cannot. Yeah, I want to hear from you.
We live for games like those.
Yep.
We live for derbies. It's a big game coming up. It's one of the games which will show to which level Manchester United have reached, especially after grabbing those 2 back-to-back wins. And I still feel that Manchester United is not playing so well, and they can't play. They can't afford to do that against Man City. So maybe before we go to all the analysis and where this match will be won, let's look at who's available, who's not, and I think for Man United.
Manchester United, the only, like, their backline has injuries, so is the left back.
Yeah.
No Luke Shaw. Varane.
Varane is back.
Could he start?
He could, because he started against in the Champions League. He started the game.
Right. Martinez.
Martinez not this season. I don't think this year. Maybe next year.
It's really sad seeing a player like him out. Yeah, I think Anthony Martial.
Martial is also available.
Yeah. So I think you United, those are the only players they're missing.
Yeah.
Who else?
Obviously Sancho out. Casemiro could be a doubt because he had an injury, but he came back to training.
And starting such players from straight from the injury, it's really risky.
Wan-Bissaka is also training, but he's still not fit, so he might not be able to feature. But the good news is Sergio Reguilon is back.
Yep.
So means he might start at the left back.
He featured actually.
He featured against
in their,
Copenhagen.
Yep.
So he could feature. So it means for Man United, that's how it looks. For Man City,
for Manchester City, we have Akanji who is suspended after picking up a red card over the weekend, and we also a long-term injury.
KDB.
Absentee. KDB. Kevin De Bruyne is also out. Who else? I doubt if they have another player who is
injured or out. Yeah, I think all the rest of the players should be available.
Yeah, because Rodri returned after serving his suspension. Just in the match
against Brighton.
Yeah. Now, where will this game be won?
Well, we can start with the form, of course. In the last 5, for Manchester City, they've won 3, they've lost 2 in the Premier League. For Manchester United, they've won 2, they've also lost 3, which is not a good sign, I think. And checking Manchester City's form away from home, they lost to Wolves 2-1. And
they lost to Arsenal.
They lost to Arsenal 1-0. And then in the cup as well, they lost to Newcastle. So it shows you like how far they are as a team without KDB.
And it shows how United fans are giving themselves a hope.
So for good news for us, Harry Maguire is on form. And I'm backing Manchester United on this one. So, you know, these kinds of games, this is where they are won. If Manchester United play the way they played against Copenhagen or Sheffield, they're going to lose this match because they have the ball and they're not using the ball. So what I'd say, maybe what tactic they should try is they should leave the ball for Man City and defend massively, because that's what you need to do, like Arsenal did. defend massively, and then hit Man City on the counter. And that's where this game can be won.
What do you mean Arsenal did?
That's what you did.
When?
You defended against Manchester City. Anyway,
come on, we can check the statistics, bro. We can check the stats.
Well, you defended well. That's what I'm saying.
We didn't defend deep like you are telling United to defend deep. Arsenal defended well.
Yeah, but it's still defending.
Yes.
So if we defend well,
United are fond of sitting back.
If we defend well against Manchester City,
you'll see
and then hit them on the counter,
more passes than Bruno Fernandes.
This is where Manchester United can show Man City who they are. So with Rashford on the wing, Anthony on the other wing, of course, because he's going to start, I'm very sure. And then with Rasmus up front, Bruno in the mid, and I think Ten Hag should start Eriksen because he's done well coming from the bench.
I don't know why he has been starting Amrabat.
Amrabat has been starting. The problem is, he still doesn't know where to play Amrabat very well because sometimes you find him
right
at
back,
the left back, or wherever, and it's a problem. So if we play well, if we turn up as a team, we are going to beat Manchester City 2-1. How about you?
Well, United don't have the capacity to defend fully like the United I know of last season, the last 2 seasons. I always tell you the facts because United knows how to approach these big games. But now I think right now Man City are too good. When you look at the matches United have been exposed, this season I think the only match United played better, and you'll agree with me, it's against Arsenal.
Which we lost 3-1.
Yes, that's the only
But
game.
Almost won 2-1.
Yeah, almost I told doesn't count. So when you look at those matches, all those matches, I think against Arsenal is the only match which they've had a good performance amid losing, leave alone the result because it was so close. It was a close game. We've seen them against Wolves, we've seen them against Sheffield, we've seen them against Brentford despite winning. We saw them against Copenhagen, against Crystal Palace, and if you come up with the same display against Manchester City, gonna be massacre at Old Trafford. But for the sake of being a derby, I don't see United conceding a lot of goals, and I don't see United scoring. That's why I'm giving City a 2-0 victory. Haaland with the
After saying all that, you say Man City to win 2-0.
Yeah.
What the? Anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Back at home, our fans are also watching, and they have a bigger stand on this game, probably, because football is football, you know. We might say 2-0 for you, 2-1 for me.
It ends
maybe the game or 1-1, or Manchester United wins 7-0. Who knows? Nobody knows. So you can let us know in the comment section what you think about this game as well. Do we have any other game remaining?
No other match.
Well, we're going to be going also to do the reaction of this match, and we're going to be at Westland. So if you have a free time, we will let you know the location on our socials. Remember, we are on TikTok, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, and we also are on Instagram. And the username is @LiquidSports. So make sure you follow us to know which direction we're going. So other than that, we're good. We hope that you have a great weekend. We hope that all your teams will win. If there was a chance that all Manchester teams to win on this one, then I think it will be better. So we've come to the end
of... You still support Manchester City anyway.
We've come to the end of this episode. My name is Brian.
And they call me Vincent.
And this is the Liquid Sports Show.